Wanna make a track and say yes, but why? I think you're dead and I'm just better off alive. Hey, fuck out all these pussies, you won't ever diss back.
Welcome to HORSEAPPLE. Today, we're going to talk about criticism. But first, I think we should take a stroll down memory lane. 3 years ago, I posted a picture on Reddit. It was a picture of the Denali Mountains. I took it with my brother Vinny about 2 summers back in July. In it, you can see grass, trees, tons of other foliage, clouds sweeping over the tops of the gargantuan peaks, a truly perfect fit for our wallpapers. And I was right, because very quickly karma began to flood in like wildfire. On my very first post, I had struck gold and accomplished the goal that I had set out to achieve. It really seemed as if the heist went off without a hitch. But not long after, the facts and the evidence began to peer this Big Ben Shapiro-shaped head. As the truth began to come out, people began to speculate on whether or not the picture was actually mine and whether or not those were actually the Denali Mountains. The truth was, they weren't. Not only do I not know where that picture was taken, or when, but my brother Vinny doesn't even exist. I lied so I could get enough karma for my real goal, to post on our videos. And to see how far I could get this lie, I fabricated evidence, a full backstory, I created characters, made a fake Facebook post, and did a bunch of things to try to verify my lies. I even hid an Easter egg in there because I didn't think anybody would find me out. But it was too late. I had already made a grave error. By establishing a time and date, that placed me just 1 summer shy from the picture's true release and its first time being on the internet. I was finally caught, red-handed, dead to rights. But it was too late. The image had already made its rounds. Nobody cared anymore. I had already met my goal 10 times over. I mean, sure, they found me out in the end, but over 900 people had no idea. On that day, I learned that lying is a pretty effective way of getting what you want on Reddit. If you can pull it off, that is. Using that criticism, I've become better at using Reddit. I enjoy it a lot more. Now, when I want to self-promote my videos on Reddit, and people really hate that, I just act like I found it. And it works a pretty good chunk of the time. Criticism has become an essential tool for me, and I think it is for anyone, regardless of what you're making. Recently, a rapper called Pussyspect made a diss track on 3 people that I know. He dissed them for talking trash behind his back and begging for features for months, apparently. At least, that's according to Pussyspect. But is any of that true? I mean, sure, he says it is, but is it really? Is he trying to create his own story, his own timeline? Is he trying to create his own narrative, his own Denali Mountains? Let's find out. Now, I believe Pussyspect's current accusations go like this. Oscar and Yesify and Condog Z were begging for features and talking trash behind his back, but that's not a lot to go off of. So I asked Pussyspect if I could listen to his diss track, but he said it was already gone. But luckily, somebody uploaded a copy of it on SoundCloud, and after taking a listen, I found 2 new accusations. Condog Z was making fun of the way Pussyspect looks, and he got defensive when Pussyspect responded. These 4 points are the building blocks of Pussyspect's defense, but are they cohesive? Well, if we take a look at other people's stories, Pussyspect was the one asking for features, not the other way around. And I've also heard that because Oscar and Yesify refused to do features for him, that he trashed them behind closed doors and eventually dissed them on a private diss track. As for Condog Z, I can't really 100% rate the situation off, but I can say from my own experience dealing and beefing with Condog, I find it hard to believe he would do anything that Pussyspect accused him of having had doing. Seeing as how he didn't do anything even remotely like that to me, I dissed him better and longer than Pussyspect did. It appears as if what actually happened was Pussyspect found Oscar, Yesify, and Condog's music and decided he liked it and wanted to collaborate with them. When they shot him down, he started trashing them to his friends, and eventually word got out. And not too long after, so did his diss track. Pussyspect, not wanting to actually beef with anyone, went into damage control. Shortly after, Oscar by Die responded with his own diss track, and Pussyspect complimented it, stating that he really liked it and that he would respond soon, acting as if he wasn't at all fazed. Oscar simply called him a clown. This set Prospect off, as he was getting dehydrated from the lack of respect being put on his name. He replied by firing back insults at Oscar's musical skills, the very same musical skills that he was just praising moments ago. So that doesn't really make sense. Oscar roasted him more, so Prospect backpedaled. He realized he was lying too much, just making too many videos, and this Redditor was easily wiping the floor with him and his story. I believe, in an attempt to quell the second shitnado, he went over and deleted the original diss track, but the second shitnado was already heading straight for him, so he got desperate and tried to wipe the slate clean by deleting his comments, just deleting all of them. As a cardinal sin in the rap industry, and honestly in the wave or the YouTube industry, that's kind of just like waving a big white flag saying, please give me elves. I didn't do anything, because Yesify dropped his diss track not long after, and when the dust settled, the dehydrated, respect-thirsty Prospect stumbled over to Austin's comment section and said, to be fair, no cap, this was pretty good, respects, please give me respeckies. But Austin wasn't having it. Prospect gives possibly the worst reply he could have given at that moment. I'm not even gonna respond, bro. No harm, keep up all the good work. Not only did he bend over and basically admit defeat, he gave a reply that would garner him the least amount of respect use. Because after talking trash behind their backs and making a hidden diss track which leaked out via one of his friends, he had the audacity to publicly lie about them and tell Oscar he'd respond, only to delete his comments later and eventually admit defeat? Prospect walked away from this fight with 2 disses, 0 replies, and no respect. Horrible. Every decision he made was the worst possible decision. I can't believe it. I mean, in the end, he got found out in front of everyone. His Denali Mountains didn't even get a chance to grow because he deleted it behind closed doors, only for it to leak out and lead to one of the most embarrassing moments in YouTube rap history. I can't believe it. I don't think I've ever seen anything like this. If I were to give him some constructive criticism, then it would be like this. Look, Prospect, clearly you liked them. You wanted their respect. Even more so, you wanted their collaborations. I've dissed both Conduct Z and Oscar myself. Without even asking, they offered me a chance to work with them. They offered me collabs. You, on the other hand, weren't ever offered that because you didn't give them really much of a reason to offer you it. Oscar had offered you a spot to collaborate with him for $15, but I guess you couldn't afford it. Look, if you wanted to work with them so bad, then you probably should just focus more on your work, and they might have would have come around and wanted to work with you, you know? Maybe attacking them was a bad idea. If you wanted the respect so much, then maybe you should have just earned it, you know, or went down with the ship. That probably would have been a lot better than just running away. Prospect, look. I heard you already changed your name 3 times. Well, 4th time's a charm.
Wanna make a track and say yes, but why? I think you're dead and I'm just better off alive. Hey, fuck out all these pussies you won't ever diss back.
Think you a goat, man, you're more like a sheep. I'm going in hard when I murder the beat. I ain't no monk, man, this mountain is steep. I'm running the scene like I'm running the street. Bringing some trash while I'm bringing some heat. You better speak up cause you're talking to me. I'm doing this public, man, ain't nothing private. So keep your eye out and act like a pirate. I'm stealing your fans, I feel like a pirate. My songs, my features, you wish you could pirate. Think you original, you ain't nothing new. How many tracks? I only count 2. Saying the trash, but they get more views. Say you don't care, but a lot of them you. So many views and so many names. Then all of a sudden, man, all of them change. You act, you run, you talk a big game. But when it got hot out the kitchen, you rain. You stuck up, you're stuck, you don't give a fuck. But you know what? I think that your music is decent as fuck. Piece of crap. In my first song I was taking a piss. Now it's just so much but you wish that I missed. Blowing a kiss in the shape of a fist. Your story has souls, I'm going to Swiss. Just like the knife that's stuck in your back. When we are struck, man, we go on attack. When you are struck, when you start running back. Deleting replies and you're doing a stat. Running and hiding, is that all you can do? Bursting so much when you wish you could sue. Oscar, Austin, HORSEAPPLE 2, calling Dog Z, we're waiting on you. Prospect, how are you a prospect? On SoundCloud over 500 prospects. Name so generic, my mind never crossed that. So buried deep that I never come across it. Type a name that leave buried in the closet. Got more disses, I'ma make a quick deposit. You quick tossing, real kid flossing. Cry baby shedding more tears than an overflowing faucet. Pause that, let me rewind that. Everything you never wanna hear, cause you're always trying to hide the fact that you don't know how to do a rap that. Spit that, tape a smack that, make a diss track stand out. How you wondering what rap that's about? I'll make it easier to figure it out. The reason I did it all was all for the